Hey, good morning, everybody. Yeah, as you can probably tell, it's early morning. And I'm taking this opportunity to take care of something while I can because, quite frankly, I'm basically getting a bottle of BBB, if you know what I mean. 52-ounce bottle of bubble bath. Let's just put it that way. I mean, I shouldn't be ashamed. I mean, this is not going on Facebook. It's going on Twitter, if anything. But anyway, yeah. Whoa, sorry about that. As you could see, it says basically summer 2012 in review. And I probably would have done this yesterday, but I figured, you know what, I've got time right now. It's very quiet, the quietest I think this area of this section of Patterson has ever been in a while, especially considering it's early Sunday morning. But anyway, man, I'll tell you what a summer it has been. I mean, if you would have told me almost 5 years ago when I came back, 4.5 actually, 5 won't be until about November. But if you would have told me 4.5 years ago that summer 2012 I'd finally be going to Disneyland, I wouldn't have believed you. If you would have told me 2 years ago, I wouldn't have believed you. Maybe 3. Well, maybe 3 I wouldn't have. 2 I probably would have said, yeah, that's a possibility, but maybe not. Well, as you've seen on the videos on my channel here, June 4th to June 8th of this year, the dream finally came true. You know, I finally did go to Disneyland for the first time in my life. Basically, it was the only time that most of my family, exception of my mom, could get off. The kids were already out of school, or if you will. My brother-in-law took about a few days off, as well as his friend did, if you will. And my other brother-in-law here in town has his own business, so he doesn't have to worry about that much because he's got people doing that job for him even when he's gone. So it was actually quite fun. Originally, I thought the plan, when it was being planned out, I thought originally the plan was for me to ride. Oh, well, here's the thing about that. When the Disneyland trip was being planned, and I've mentioned this before, I thought originally I was going to stay at my sister's in Modesto and ride with them. But then we figured, you know what? I got a sister here in town. They're just going to be going the same way, but a different route. Let's try that. And it was my luck. It was just my luck that my sister decided, you know what? We haven't been able to do much. I mean, we did a lot, but we didn't do as much as we should have. We're going to stay an extra day while you, my other sister, and her family and and their friends went back to town, went back to Modesto, because they had other personal family events to go to, other personal family events to go to. So we ended up staying one more day, which was kind of fun, was kind of cool. There are a few things, like I've mentioned before, few rides and stuff that I didn't go on yet, and a few things I didn't see yet, but the next time I go, I'll probably make sure to take them all in. But it was like I said, if you would have told me that this year I would have done it, I wouldn't have believed it, but there I was, you know, at Disneyland. And if you would have told me But you know what? Even besides that, if you would have told me a month later, that I'd be going to Monterey Bay to attend my cousin's wedding, a cousin that's 5 years younger than me, I wouldn't have believed you either. If you would have told me that this year would have been the busiest year, or busiest summer on record, I wouldn't have believed you. But it is. It is actually the busiest one on record so far. For me, anyway. I mean, it's one thing to do Disneyland, then it's another to come back a few weeks later, towards the end of the month, do my great-nephew's birthday at Chuck E. Cheese, then do my now 17-year-old nephew's birthday at his house, do the 4th of July at their house, kind of have a pre-4th of July on that day, on his birthday celebration as well, but also do the 4th of July at their house. And then, basically, after that, get ready, save up money and everything, and go to Monterey, if you will. If you would have told me all that was going to happen, I wouldn't have believed you. And if you would have told me that me and my mom's dog, who we've always had to keep in a very roomy caddy, if you will, when we would leave, we would make sure she'd go to the bathroom and all that. But when we would leave for a while, if you would have told us that finally testing her out this summer on her own, leaving her out and about, that she wouldn't do anything because she was well trained, I don't think anybody would have believed you, but she didn't. The point is, this summer's been very, very interesting, very intriguing. If you would have told me that right now I'd be holding in my hands a Kodak Easy Touch 5 times wide camera with 720 HD video with touchscreen, and the fact that I got it courtesy of Amazon.com with the help of a $25 gift card, if you would have told me that, I wouldn't have believed you. But, there you go. If you would have told me, I know I'm repeating myself here, if you would have told me that Friday and last night we'd be celebrating on Friday, basically this past 2 to 3 days of this weekend, if you would have said that the 17th and 18th we'd be celebrating my niece's 20th birthday, with the way it was celebrated, I don't think anybody would have believed you either. I don't think we wouldn't have believed you. If you would tell me that this Saturday we're either going to be heading back to Monterey Bay or heading to the wharf in San Francisco, whatever's going to occur for my mom's birthday, I don't think we would have believed you. If you would have told me that in September, which is basically the official start month of fall, that I'd probably be on the verge of getting off me and my mom's first HD television, again, I don't think anybody would have believed you. The thing is, summer 2012 for me on a personal note has been very, very unique and probably the busiest I've ever had. The busiest I've ever been part of. I mean, the fact that I went to Disneyland, and the fact that I went to Disneyland for the first time in my life, the fact that I went to Monterey Bay for my cousin's wedding, what more can you ask for when it comes to the summer for a summer, huh? If you think about it, this is the kind of summer that a lot of families in fiction and in non-fiction, in real life and in fictional life, plan on most of the time, because you have basically 3 months ahead of you to do absolutely anything you want. And there you go. So if you would have told me all that was going to take place, I never would have believed a single word you guys would say. I mean, if you had told me face to face that was going to happen, I wouldn't have believed you. Because who would have thought it would? Who would have thought that 2012, summer 2012, would go that way? Yes, it seems to have gone by quickly, because my mom tomorrow has to go back to work and, start 2 weeks of training before they get the kids in there. But if you would have told her all of this would have happened, her youngest finally going to Disneyland, her going to a wedding in Monterey Bay, if you would have said all that to her, she wouldn't have believed you either. Because, with finances the way they are, it's, the economy the way it is, I don't think you could blame anybody for not believing anyone else if somebody was to say that to them. But you know what? That's exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened with me. Like I said, if somebody would have told me, hey, you're going to go to Disneyland in 2012, I wouldn't have believed them. But now, I also know that if I save up correctly, make sure I find out the bus schedules and everything, I can do Disneyland on my own someday. So, we'll just have to wait and see on that. But overall, the summer of 2012 has been a summer that I'll never forget. A very busy and very unique summer. That's all I'm going to say about it. Comment down below, video response if you want. Tell me what your summer was like if you'd like to, and I'll talk to y'all later.